Yo, what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Fantastic.
I love it. Hey, all you vipers out there in the world, hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. Mrs. Weedman and I are about to get normal, but before we do, Mrs. Weedman and I are going to cover some awesome research today, some science, some health. We got some political news, some business news. We even got a bunch of global, international news going on, and then Mrs. Weedman is going to talk to you about some cannabis culture. Now, Mrs. Weedman, let's get normal.
Let's do it.
With some Broken Lollipop grown by the art of genetics, given to us by our friend at Midwest Terps for the Midwest Terps Terp-Off, the Michigan versus Illinois Terp-Off, which was a great time. Thank you both for throwing to the cause. So, Broken Lollipop is an indica-dominant strain. This heavy hitter offers an amazing, delicious flavor with even more delectable high that will leave you coming back for more and more. Like its name suggests, Broken Lollipop is a sweet, sugary blueberry candy flavor with hints of spicy nuttiness and a touch of citrus. The aroma is just intoxicating with a fruity blueberry overtone, accented by spicy nuttiness and fresh earthiness. Broken Lollipop high will settle in slowly, beginning with lift in the brain and boost the spirits and infuse your mind with a heady sense of calm. This calm feeling will soon begin to work its way throughout your entire body, lulling your physical form into a deeply relaxing state that has you kicked back and ready to let the world pass you by. The combination will turn sedative, so best be ready for a nice and long, super peaceful nap. Combined with a good THC average, these effects make Broken Lollipop a great choice for treating chronic stress or anxiety, chronic pain, depression, and insomnia. This bud has fluffy and oversized spade-shaped forest green nugs with minty undertones, lots of thin, furry orange hairs, and chunky, bright white crystal trichomes. And I'd like to thank the Art of Genetics and Midwest Terps for throwing to the cause. Appreciate you. Let me take a little hit of this. Before Mrs. Weedman tells you a little bit of 8decades.com, the Weedman 420 Chronicles podcast would like to apologize for our 420 episode because of the sound. We had some technical difficulties here where we lived, had a major tornadoes, major storms, and we had power outages, and so our computer that we use for recording wasn't working well that day. So we apologize that the sound quality wasn't 100%, but hopefully you still enjoyed our 420 special. And now, Mrs. Weedman is going to tell you a little bit about 8decades.com.
Yes. Head on over to 8decades.com. That is 8 spelled out, EIGHT. Decades.com. That is our cannabis lifestyle brand. So head over. You can do some shopping in our store, buy some great cannabis lifestyle items. We've got rolling trays, we've got ashtrays, we've got grinders. I always feel like a insurance or like a car commercial when I go through this whole
Emu, emu.
all sorts of goodies.
Or Liberty Bibbity.
Liberty Bibbity.
Or
Want
Panuli.
a cannoli?
Or Panuli.
A cannoli? Or lasagna?
Oh my God.
Anyway, head over to 8 Decades, do some shopping, find some great products, learn more about us, our advocacy, what we're all about, and some swag for the show as well. So that is 8decades.com. If you sign up for our newsletter, you will get free shipping on your first order.
Yes, and as we always say, if you support 8decades.com, like somebody just did, we thank you for buying Roll Set. It helps us pay our shoddy, the producer.
Important
yes,
person.
very important person in our life. So, and we thank you all out there for the support. Check this out, Ms. Weedman.
Yeah.
This one's a little trippy.
Okay.
But kind of not to think about this before you go to bed, or maybe right before you go to bed. You might want to think about it. A new study's out. Okay, a new study. What a study is diving into people actually what they dream about right before you die. So where we're going with this. And surprisingly, it's not all doom and gloom and darkness and brimstone and fire. But the researchers out there are doing like this end of life dreams and visions, basically with terminal patients, just to like kind of like find out what they're seeing in their final days. And here's something a little wild: a lot of dreams are actually peaceful, as which you would hope, right? Like, what would you want your dying dream to be before you passed?
Well, I don't know, because I'm not dying. But I'm sure there's a lot of wishes and wants at that point in your life.
It's funny though, because some people have said they've seen like bright lights, doorways.
Well, how would they say it if they're dead?
No, just like their dying peaceful dream. Like they were
Oh,
talking about what like they would like to see,
what
kind
they
of thing.
want to see.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Hmm.
People dreaming about reconnecting with loved ones
Mhm.
who maybe passed away early, like family members showing up saying, "Hey, I've been waiting for you at the gates."
No.
Kind of heavy though, right? And comforting though, like at the same time. Like imagine if you went to heaven and me and Yuki were waiting for you at the gates. We waited.
Yeah.
We didn't go in without you,
No.
right?
I don't know if you can do that, but yeah.
I
That'd be
will.
great.
I like, hey, St. Pete, let me ask you a favor. Can I just greet people, like just say hello to people and help out while I'm waiting
You wanna
for...
be a Walmart greeter?
Yeah, that's it. Hey, welcome.
I'm gonna be a heaven greeter, please.
Hi, welcome in. You're all welcome. All are welcome. All are welcome. And then here comes Yuki come running right into my arms, and then we wait
You
for you.
imagine some of the strangest
I'm a
shit.
hopeless romantic.
Oh my gosh.
That would be... I'd like that to be my dream. But listen,
Hey.
it's not all like I said, it's not all kind of like pretty people's thoughts and dreams. Like it might not always be a warm send off kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm already stoned, just so
Yeah,
everybody
I
knows.
think
Whew,
so.
art of genetics, baby. But scientists aren't 100% sure, like why this happens. Like these send off dreams, like dropping a psychological horror film on you or some shit like that. You know, they're not quite sure what these dreams might actually. They may actually help people cope. You know, with the mind easing of the unknown. And here's some wild part. People don't always talk about these dreams because they're worried about what other people will think, or maybe they're worried about what they're losing, when really it just could be all part of the process. You know? No, too deep, too heavy. No.
I'm too stoned to even follow.
Already, I know.
I know.
So next time, this did say it was
Ooh.
we might be sleeping.
Yeah.
So next time you have a weird dream, maybe it's just your brain just doing its thing, kind of thing. You know, it's just so when we go to sleep on this strain tonight and you sleep heavy, try to remember your dream tomorrow when you wake up and tell me, was it all, gumdrops and puppy tails and stuff like that, or was
Yeah.
it fucking fire? You're getting your fucking steak thrown in a lava pit, like getting
Oh.
staked.
Hopefully it's cotton candy and puppies and fun, happy stuff.
Candy, just a bowl of candy, a bowl of candy.
Oh my God. Can we do the show? We're both so
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm not saying I'm not ready.
You ready to
I'm
get the
just
show
saying
started
I'm
then?
baked. Oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this. All right. This is one in some early stage science, but it's one of those hold up, this could be big someday type stories. So a new report from Green State is looking into whether CBD could help with Alzheimer's disease, and early research is showing some pretty interesting signals. Now, first, Alzheimer's is no joke. It's one of the most common forms of dementia, and right now there's still no cure. Most treatments just slow things down a little. They don't reverse it. So researchers are constantly looking for anything that might actually protect the brain or even push back against the damage. And that's where CBD comes in. CBD, the non-psychoactive compound in cannabis, has already been studied for things like inflammation and brain production. And those two things, they're huge when it comes to Alzheimer's, because a big part of Alzheimer's isn't just memory loss. It's what's happening inside the brain itself. Inflammation, buildup of harmful proteins like beta amyloid, damage to brain cells over time. Now, here's where the new research gets interesting. In early studies, mostly in animal models, CBD has also shown the ability to reduce inflammation in the brain, lower buildup of those toxic proteins, and even improve memory and cognitive function. Yeah, that's pretty strong combo. So researchers are even saying CBD might help restore balance in the brain's immune system, which plays a major role in how Alzheimer's progresses. So instead of just treating symptoms, it could be potentially target what's actually driving the disease. That's like the exciting part, right?
Hmm.
But and this is important. We're still in the early days of this. Most of the research has been done on mice, those damn mice, lab models, not large human trials. And as we know, what works in a mouse doesn't always translate directly to us, people. So right now, scientists are calling this promising but not proven. There are also the question of dosage, long-term effects, and how CBD could actually be used in real treatment plans. Listen, if I get Alzheimer's disease, just give them to me. What else could be worse?
Right.
Just Ms. Weedman, send me to them. Just run the test. Forget the mice. Forget the mice.
You'll be the human.
Just give me all the CBD you can. Like daily combined with THC, used early, late, those answers they don't have yet. More research, right, Mr. Weedman?
That's right.
But the directions is clear. Cannabis, specifically CBD, is being taken seriously as a potential neuroprotective therapy, not just something for relaxation or pain. And honestly, this fits into the bigger shift we've been seeing. Cannabis is moving forward from culture into clinical conversations. From does it get you high to can it protect your brain? So for now, CBD is not a cure for Alzheimer's. But it might be one of those tools researchers keep coming back to as they try to figure out how to slow or someday stop the disease. And if even part of it pans out, that could be a huge game changer, Mrs. Weedman.
Yeah.
I am so fucking baked right now.
I know. I
Like,
could tell.
really high.
And I can't pay attention to anything.
Really high. But now it's your turn.
Shit.
Because you're going to be talking about how medical marijuana helps people stop using opioids, sleeping aids, and other prescriptions.
Smoke this weed. You won't need any pain medications.
Broken Lollipop has broken me.
How many licks does it get to the center of the lollipop? A Tootsie Pop.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, no, I'm like one.
Tree licks to get to the center.
All right, back on track. Medical marijuana helps people stop opioid use, as well as sleeping aids and other prescription drugs, study shows. Oh, okay, we can do this. This story comes from Marijuana Moment. Okay, so wait, if you're like a first-time listener, this is a perfect little segue to explain something about our show.
Don't do drugs, kids.
No, not really. That we're advocating for a plant that can be used recreationally, and it can be used medicinally, and it can be used everywhere in between.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a little bit of how we use it.
Yeah.
And right now we're using it recreationally, but we hope we're using it socially.
Yeah.
And yeah, are we screwing up with our stories right now? And am I talking like I am a sloth? Maybe. Maybe my brain just thinks so. I have no idea, quite honestly. But one way or another, something's moving slow.
Whew.
I think it's me. Where am I going? We smoke at the beginning of the show so that we can show you that you can function when you're high.
But there's been some
Sometimes
strains.
we can't.
There's been some strains that have got us.
Yeah.
Broken Lollipop.
You got us.
Got us broken.
Yeah. So the point being is that we consume and we put out a show telling you about the latest research, news, things around the world that are happening with cannabis, from business to culture. And, what better way to do it than Stone?
Yeah.
And I think we don't really do a review of a strain. We kind of allow our audience to listen to how the tone of the show is, listen to our humor and our stories and things that happen. And that kind of tells you what the strain might make you feel. So that's that. That's our review.
Yes. So,
So we're very baked, but that's part of the show.
And you know what? We've been doing the show for 7 years now.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. This is
That's
just
it.
what we do.
This is what we
This is
do.
what we
We're
do.
not going to stop. So
So,
tell us more, Ms. Weedman.
back on track. There's a new study, and it's showing that medical marijuana is helping a lot of people cut back or even completely stop using prescription drugs. And we're not talking about just one category either. This includes opioids, sleeping pills, and even medications for things like ADHD. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The study looked at over 3,500 patients in Germany who were using medical cannabis, and across the board, patients reported reducing their use of prescription medications by an average of about 84.5% after starting cannabis. Yeah, that's no small number. Even more wild, about 58.9% of those patients said they stopped using their prescription meds entirely, specifically pain meds, things that are a little more on the realm of addictive or habit forming. So let's break that down a little bit. When it comes to sleep medications, over 93% of patients were able to cut their use at least in half, and about 75% quit completely. So if you've ever taken prescription sleep aids and felt like a zombie the next day, you can see why people might look for alternatives. Now let's talk about opioids, because that is a big one. According to the study, about 61% of patients who were using opioids were able to stop completely after starting medical cannabis. That's huge, especially when you think about how addictive opioids can be and the damage that they've done for years. And it doesn't stop there. Patients also reported that once they switched to cannabis, a lot of their side effects from their old medications just disappeared. In fact, around 60% said they no longer were experiencing those medication related side effects at all. So we're talking less dependency, fewer side effects, and people still managing their symptoms. Now, before anyone gets carried away, this is based on patient reported data, meaning people are sharing their own experiences. That's powerful, but it's not the same as a tightly controlled clinical trial. That said, other research, including studies out of the United States, have also found that medical cannabis programs are linked to reduced opioid use over time, especially in people dealing with chronic pain. So when you start stacking these studies together, a pattern starts to show. People aren't just using cannabis recreationally, they're using it as a replacement, a substitute, something that for them works better or at least comes with fewer downsides. And from a bigger picture standpoint, this could have serious ripple effects. If more people are able to move away from high-risk medications like opioids or heavy sleep aids, that could mean fewer overdoses, fewer side effects, and maybe even a shift in how doctors approach treatment altogether. Still, when you've got so many people saying, "Hey, this helped me get off of something stronger," it's definitely worth paying attention to. And honestly, it's another sign that cannabis is carving out a role in modern medicine, not just culture.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
good. You made it through that too, like
And
a
I
champ.
I can say that I deal with a good amount of pain daily, and I have avoided using opioids. I have been offered them by many
There
doctors
you have.
very easily. They will just, okay, well, this is what you can use and this is what can help. And I say no. And they're like, well, what do you plan to do? And I say, yoga, meditate, cannabis. I don't know.
Lions,
And they're
tigers,
like,
and
well, do you
bears.
take Tylenol? No.
No,
Well,
this is what you meant.
don't you
No,
want these drugs?
no,
And I say, no.
no, no,
I'll stick to
no.
my cannabis. And then they kind of frown. No, not always.
No,
Not always.
your doctors have not. The
Yeah.
ones that
They're just kind of like neutral. I don't think
Yes.
they really know what to say. Like, what are they going to do? Argue?
If it-
Like, no, you better take this opioid.
Oh, this is one of those
Wow.
same plant, different method conversations, and it actually comes with some real numbers behind it. A new report out of Marijuana Moment is breaking down a study that compares smoking cannabis versus vaporizing it, and the difference is kind of wild. According to this research, vaporizing cannabis can reduce harmful inhaled byproducts by up to 99% compared to smoking a joint. I did say it, 99%. So what's actually going on here? It all comes down to one word: combustion. When you light a joint, you're not just activating THC, you're literally burning plant material. And that creates a whole mix of extra stuff: tar, carbon monoxide, benzene, formaldehyde, and all that not-so-fun chemistry. Basically, you're inhaling smoke, not just cannabis. But vaporizing, completely different process. Instead of burning the flower, a vaporizer heats it to a lower temperature, just enough to release cannabinoids and terpenes without lighting it on fire. So you're getting the active compounds without a lot of the toxic byproducts that come from combustion. That's why researchers found such a massive drop, up to 99%, in harmful chemicals when comparing vapor to smoke. And they didn't just eyeball this. They tested for 16 different harmful compounds, including known toxins like benzene and formaldehyde. Some of those chemicals from a single joint actually exceeded recommended daily exposure limits, while the vaporizer version, way lower or not even detectable. So yeah, that's a big, big difference. Now, from a harm reduction standpoint, this is huge because, let's be real, people are going to consume cannabis. That's not changing. But how you consume it, that might matter more than people think. And this study is basically saying it's not just what you're using, it's how you're using it. Now, with that said, we got to keep it balanced. The study was actually tied to a cannabis company, PAX, which makes vaporizers. So yeah, always take industry-funded research with a grain of salt. And more importantly, this doesn't mean vaping is safe. It just means it may be less harmful than smoking, especially when it comes to lung exposure. There are still questions about long-term effects, especially with concentrates, additives, and different devices. So we're not crowning a healthy way to smoke. This is more about reducing damage, not eliminating it. But the takeaway is pretty clear. If combustion is the problem, then removing combustion changes the game. Same plant, different chemistry, different impact. And honestly, that's where cannabis science is heading right now. Not just asking, is it good or bad, but what's the safest way to use it? And we have a homie in Canada that's reached out to me on YouTube a couple of times about getting a vaporizer. He suggested the ball vape vaporizer. Have not bought it yet, homie in Canada. But I will eventually, because I'm 53 years old and I smoked cigs for like 30 years. I vaped for 10 and smoked joints my whole life, and bongs, big, massive bong rips. And, my lungs are probably about like 75% good because I do work out. I do keep healthy, but still. So it will come a time to where I need to cut down on the joint smoking and vape half and half.
Be more important.
Yeah. Your lungs too.
Yeah.
But my lungs, I smoked cigs way longer than you did. So, and joints way longer than you have. So, yeah, I just need to, eventually move on to that. So thanks, homie, in Canada for the research you did for us and let us know what we should use. Alan Howlett and the discovery of the CB1 receptor, which was the gateway to the endocannabinoid system.
That sounds like a...
It is.
Whatever you do.
I should I tell everybody where that comes from?
Baby.
Where that comes from?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Wayne's World.
Right. Wayne's World, party on.
Yeah, I would love to do a Wayne's World show. That would be amazing. Oh my God, it would have been,
Well, okay. All right. This next story takes us a little deeper into the science side of cannabis. And honestly, it's one of those, how did we not know this sooner kind of moments. This article highlights the work of Alan Howlett, the scientist who helped discover the CB1 receptor. Basically, the gateway to understanding how cannabis actually works in the human body. Rewind to times before the 1980s. Scientists knew THC had effects, people were feeling them loud and clear, but nobody really understood how it worked. The common theory at that time, THC just kind of messed with cell membranes in the general way. No specific target, just chaos. But it turns out that was completely wrong. In 1988, Howlett and her team discovered that the brain actually has specific binding sites, receptors, designed to interact with cannabinoids. The CB1 receptor was the first one identified, and it changed everything. And here's the wild part: these receptors weren't rare, they're found all over the brain in high concentrations. So scientists had a big question. Why would the human body have receptors specifically for compounds found in a plant? Well, right? That question led to the discovery of the endocannabinoid system,
Mm.
or you'll hear reference to the ECS, a whole internal system made up of receptors like CB1, which naturally produced cannabinoids in the body, and the enzymes that regulate them. Basically, your body already speaks cannabis. The CB1 receptor, in particular, is mostly found in the brain and central nervous system, where it plays a role in things like pain, mood, memory, appetite, and sleep. And when THC enters the body, it binds to those receptors, kind of like a key fitting into a lock. And that's what produces the effects that people feel. Researchers later identified a second receptor, CB2, which is more tied to the immune system, and they discovered that the body produces its own cannabis like compounds, things like anandamide, that activate these receptors naturally. So cannabis didn't create the system, it taps into one that already exists. And that's why this discovery was such a big deal. It shifted cannabis from being seen as just a recreational substance to something with a real biological framework behind it. It opened the door to understanding how cannabinoids could potentially be used for things like pain management, inflammation, neurological conditions, you name it. And honestly, it changes how science looks at the plant itself. Because once you realize the body has an entire system built to interact with cannabinoids, it stops sounding so crazy that this plant might actually have therapeutic value. Now, of course, we're still learning. The endocannabinoid system is complex, and researchers are still figuring out all of the ways it influences the body. But none of the modern cannabis science, literally none of it, would be where it is today without the discovery of the CB1 receptor. So let's give a shout out to Alan Howlett for cracking open the door on this discovery, because once that door opened, the entire cannabis conversation changed.
It did.
Yeah, it gave a lot of legitimacy to
Big time.
cannabis.
Yeah. Thank you,
Like,
Alan.
maybe it's part of our food pyramid.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Political state and business news. Virginia's governor is pushing amendments to the state's marijuana sales bill, including a delay to launching the legal retail market. They're talking to about July 2027 now. Lawmakers have been moving toward regulated sales, but these changes could slow everything down. It's another example of legalization happening, just not as fast as people expected. Legal, but not available. Classic. Colorado's cannabis industry is facing a downturn with failing sales, business closures, and increased competition squeezing operators. Once the gold standard for legalization, the market is now dealing with oversupply and shrinking margins. It's a reality check showing that even mature cannabis markets aren't immune to economic pressure. Even OG states got to do a little hustling now and then. A new law in Ohio bans residents from purchasing cheaper cannabis across the border in Michigan. Can you believe that? But did you just hear what I just read? You ready, everybody in the back? A new law in Ohio bans residents from purchasing cheaper cannabis across the border in Michigan, aiming to protect the state's own market.
Really?
But for consumers used to better prices up north, This could hit the wallet hard. It's another case of states trying to keep cannabis dollars from crossing state lines. All right, I'm going to get on my soapbox for a
Do it,
second.
do it, do it.
For a second about that. You know how I feel about the government. I think you've heard me all say this enough about government in general, global, here, whatever. For your government to tell you what you can and can't do, no matter what party you believe in, I don't give a flying saucer. That is absolutely the worst thing I just read about a government officials telling you what you can't and can't do with the choices that whatever you believe in, you can make your own choices in life if you want to go to Michigan to buy cheaper weed than buy in Ohio because their weed's too expensive. That is absolutely fucking makes me sick to my stomach. Okay, I'll move on. Nebraska officials have approved initial medical marijuana regulations, sending them to the Attorney General and Governor for final review. It's a key step toward launching a program in a state that's been slow to embrace cannabis reform. The framework is forming, but the final decision is still up top. Pennsylvania lawmakers approved a bill allowing terminally ill patients to use medical cannabis in hospitals. All these laws are now, we talked about it, they were all in the Senate and House. Now it's going to the governor's desk and they're all signing them. There's a couple more too I just read about too. So the move aims to give patients more comfort and dignity at the end of life. So they have good dreams before they pass on, like we just talked about, right?
Mhm.
Even in clinical settings where cannabis has typically been restricted, it's small but meaningful expansion of patient access. As more consumers switch from alcohol to cannabis, concerns are growing about product purity and safety. Experts warn that inconsistent testing and contamination risk could undermine trust in the industry. With demand rising, the spotlight is now shifting toward quality control and transparency across the cannabis market. Ms. Weedman, you ready?
I'm ready.
I want you to make me this t-shirt.
Okay.
Clean weed matters.
Oh, Mr. Weedman. That's a good idea.
I need a shirt. You and I have come up with some great one-liners for
share it
t-shirts.
with so many people.
I don't care about that. But I could have a different shirt every month with something that you've said one-liner wise or I've said and people would actually probably buy it if I wore it out. Idaho lawmakers continue to push strict anti-cannabis policies, keeping the state one of the most restrictive in the country. Despite growing legalization nationwide, efforts to loosen laws face strong opposition. The divide between Idaho and neighboring legal states keep getting wider as reform stalls out. Idaho said, "Not today." A new report highlights how confusing the cannabis shopping experience has become for consumers. With overwhelming product choices, inconsistent labeling, and unclear potency information, even experienced users can struggle to navigate dispensaries, showing the industry still has work to do when it comes to education and clarity. Shopping high shouldn't be this hard, and as Ma420 said, I don't like going to dispensaries. I like going to the streets. It was more fun. It wasn't confusing. Why, Mrs. Weedman? Because what was it when she called it? What did they call their weed back then? Pot.
Weed pot.
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 The pot.
The pot.
The IRS says cannabis bud tenders could eventually qualify for tax-free tips, but only after federal legalization. For now, workers in the industry still face standard taxation rules. It's another reminder of how federal law continues to shape and limit the cannabis workforce and business landscape. Uncle Sam still wants his cut. A Native American tribe in Nebraska is moving forward with cannabis on tribal lands despite one of the strictest anti-cannabis state governments in the U.S. The effort highlights tribal sovereignty. Yes, it does, allowing them to create their own cannabis framework, even when the state law resists. It's a bold move and could reshape access in prohibition. Heavy regions, they said no. Tribe said, "Yo, motherfucker, watch this." Just like they did in North Carolina. Just like they're doing in the Plain States, and I think it was Wyoming or somewhere up there too. Good for you. All you tribes out there, good for you. Gambling and weed. You got it. Nailed it down. Now I'm passing that fucking Broken Lollipop over to you, Mr. Weedman.
It's my turn. I gotta talk again? All right. Well, I've got some more political, state, and business news. A marijuana advocacy group is asking people to share their past cannabis arrest stories to highlight the real human cost of prohibition. The goal is to show lawmakers how criminalization has impacted lives beyond statistics, with jobs lost, records damaged, futures changed. It's about putting real voices behind the push for reform. Numbers don't tell stories, people do. Missouri is working to establish licensed cannabis research facilities, aiming to expand scientific studies in a regulated environment. The move could help universities and private groups better understand cannabis's effects, safety, and medical potential. It's another sign the industry is shifting toward data-driven growth and legitimacy. Utah's medical cannabis program is more accessible than many think, with a growing list of qualifying conditions and patients. State officials are encouraging more awareness as thousands who could benefit still aren't enrolled. It shows how medical programs can exist quietly, even in more conservative states. Tennessee lawmakers are pushing to take control of cannabis rescheduling decisions, removing authority from health experts and keeping it in legislative hands. The move raises concerns about politics outweighing science in cannabis policy. It's another example of how control over cannabis laws is still being fought state by state. Science versus politics, again and again. An Ohio judge has blocked the state from enforcing a ban on THC-infused beverages, giving producers and sellers temporary relief. The decision keeps these products on shelves, for now, while legal challenges continue. It's another reminder of how fast cannabis rules can change, especially with newer product categories. Members of Congress are floating a plan that would let states opt out of a potential federal ban on hemp-derived THC products. The proposal could give states more control over how they regulate Delta-8 and similar products. It's a sign that federal cannabis policy may move toward flexibility rather than one-size-fits-all rules. Senator Cory Booker stirred conversation by saying marijuana is safer than fast food like McDonald's French fries.
How dare you
Yeah.
talk about McDonald's French fries like that?
His comment highlights ongoing debates about cannabis risks compared to everyday substances. While supporters agree, critics say the comparison oversimplifies complex health issues. Okay. Cal Poly Humboldt received a $3 million gift to fund the first fully endowed cannabis studies professorship. The program aims to support long-term academic research in cannabis science, policy, and industry. It's a major step toward legitimizing cannabis education at the university level. Very cool. A new study shows most Texas voters support expanded medical marijuana access, but many don't even realize the state already has a limited program. The gap between public support and awareness highlights how underdeveloped the system still is. It's a clear signal that demand is ahead of policy. An op-ed argues that marijuana and hemp should be regulated under a single unified framework rather than treated as separate industries. The piece highlights confusion caused by inconsistent laws and calls for clear, streamlined policy. It's part of a growing push to simplify cannabis regulation across the board. So important. Okay, Mr. Weedman, it's back to you.
Thank you, Mrs. Weedman. Donald Trump is criticizing the DOJ for moving way too slow on marijuana rescheduling months after directing action. The delay highlights how complicated federal cannabis reform still is. Even with political pressure, it shows that shifts in cannabis policy at the federal level is anything but quick or straightforward. Listen, it's not complicated. Just fucking sign it. That's it. It's not that hard. New Jersey has officially implemented new restrictions on hemp-derived THC products, tightening rules around sales and regulation. The changes aim to control the booming market for products like Delta-8, but could also limit availability for consumers and businesses. Another example of states stepping in where the federal rules remain unclear. Colorado lawmakers have introduced a major cannabis policy overhaul aiming at updating regulations in the state's mature market. The proposal looks to address safety enforcements and industry challenges as the state adapts to changing conditions. Even long-established cannabis states are still evolving their laws to keep pace with the industry. Illinois has adopted new amendments to its cannabis regulation, refining how the industry operates across the state. The updates focus on compliance, licensing, and operational clarity for business. It's part of the ongoing process of tightening the improving legal markets after initializing legalization rollouts. Illinois is fine tuning the system. Approved medical marijuana cards have jumped 62% year over year in one state, showing strong growth in patient participation. The increase signals rising acceptance and demands for cannabis as medicine, even in areas that once were hesitant. Medical programs continue to expand quietly across the country. Patients are showing up strong. Snoop Dogg and Exhibit are expanding their cannabis empires with new dispensaries in California. The move shows how celebrity-backed brands continue to shape the retail landscape. Star power and cannabis culture remain tightly connected as the industry grows, from mic to marketplace. Bill Mayer, Mrs. Weedman showed me the video the other night of this. It was pretty funny.
This is funny.
Bill Mayer and Woody Harrelson criticized California's business climate, including challenges facing cannabis operators, high taxes, and strict regulations, continuing to push some businesses out, sparking debate over whether the state is making it too hard for legal markets to thrive. Now, they were at their dispensary, right, Mrs. Weedman? And they were getting very high.
They were baked. They were in their consumption lounge.
Yeah, before, I mean, they were talking about all different things, but they got into like a real laughing mood, right?
Yeah.
Giggle fest.
And they just
were talking
couldn't
about
say
a
anything
bird,
without just
like trying to feed the bird and food or some shit. Oh my God, we were stoned too. We were laughing hysterical. I think they did it on 420. It was like his live podcast show. So kind of funny. Pennsylvania governor is urging lawmakers to legalize recreational marijuana, even making the push around the 420 holiday. The effort reflects growing pressure to join neighboring states with legal markets. Momentum is building, but whether lawmakers act remains to be seen. The sports world remains divided on cannabis use among athletes, with inconsistent rules across leagues. Some organizations are losing restrictions, while others are still penalizing players. The lack of unified approach continues to impact athletes, showing cannabis policy hasn't fully caught up with professional sports. Athletes are still stuck in the middle. A new report shows a massive decline in cannabis-related arrests following legalization, highlighting on one of the clearest impacts of reform. Fewer arrests mean fewer people entering the criminal justice system for marijuana offenses, reinforcing one of the key arguments for legalization policies nationwide. Less arrests, more progress. Pre-rolls. Ms. Weedman, how long has Mr. Weedman been talking about pre-rolls?
Just a minute.
Like how
Just
long?
1 minute.
Maybe like
1 minute.
4 years now?
Probably.
5?
Yes.
You ready for this?
Tell me.
Pre-rolls have become the largest product category in the cannabis industry, overtaking other forms like flower and edibles. Why?
Convenient.
Convenience factor is driving sales, making it easier for consumers as a what? Grab and go item. How long has Mr. Weedman been talking about this, Mr. Weedman?
500 years.
It's a shift showing how consumer habits continue to shape the market. Roll it or just buy it ready. Lawmakers, officials, and even celebrities are reacting to Donald Trump's new executive order pushing psychedelic research. Support is coming from both sides of the aisle, with some praising potential mental health benefits, especially for veterans, while critics warn the science isn't fully there yet. The move is sparking a broader conversation about drug shift policy shifting beyond cannabis. From weed to psychedelics, the conversation is expanding. Okay, I'm going to say one more thing before I move on. If fucking psychedelics gets passed before weed, I'm going to blow my fucking weed top.
Just came out of nowhere.
Blow my weed top. And granted, I love psychedelics.
Right.
I think they said 114 million people microdosed psilocybin last year. 114 million microdosed psilocybin.
Crazy.
I'm telling you, I will blow my fucking top.
If that goes first.
Oh my gosh. And you have both sides of the aisles. Mm-hmm. You can't even get both sides of the aisles to agree on anything and agree on psychedelics before weed?
Before weed.
Get the F out of here.
Games.
Oh.
They're playing games.
So, cannabis, though, has been used. This goes perfect with what I was just talking about. Ms. Weedman we were bitching about. Cannabis as a political tool.
Mm-hmm.
They were never fighting cannabis or a drug, as it says here in the title. They were fighting who, Mrs. Weedman? You and me and all of us. So Ms. Weedman is going to tell you about it. This is from one of my favorite journalists too, Mr. Reginald Reefer, by the way.
Yep. All right, this piece comes from cannabis.net, and it hits on something that a lot of people in the cannabis space have been side-eyeing for years. The idea that cannabis hasn't just been treated like a drug, it's been used as a political tool. The article basically argues that the fight over cannabis was never just about public health or safety. It was about control, narratives, and influence. Now, historically, that's not a wild claim. Cannabis prohibition didn't happen in a vacuum. The way the plant was portrayed as dangerous, criminal, tied to certain communities was shaped heavily by politics and media messaging. And research shows that cannabis policy has often been influenced by the selective use of science and public narratives to support pre existing agendas. The article is saying if you follow the messaging over time, it changes depending on what benefits those in power. At one point, cannabis was framed as a major societal threat. Fast forward to today, and now you've got politicians campaigning on legalization because public opinion has shifted. Same plant, totally different messaging. The piece also points out how both sides of the political aisle have used cannabis as a talking point. Promises of legalization show up during campaigns, but actual federal reform tends to move a lot slower. And that gap between what's said and what's done, that's where the frustration comes in. There's also this idea of cannabis being used to divide people, kind of a us versus them setup. Prohibition historically created lines between law-abiding citizens and criminal users, even though millions of people were using cannabis across all walks of life. And now you've got a different kind of divide: corporate cannabis versus legacy growers, medical versus recreational, state versus federal laws. It's like the conversation keeps shifting, but the tension never leaves. Another angle the article touches on is how cannabis reform can be used as a political carrot, something politicians dangle to gain support, even if a broader policy doesn't always align with the same ideas of personal freedom or justice. So it's not just about legalization. It's about how and why legalization happens and who benefits when it does. Now, to be fair, this is an opinion piece, so it's coming in with a strong perspective, but it does raise a bigger question that's worth talking about. If cannabis policy has been shaped by politics in the past, how much of what we're seeing today is still driven by those same forces? Because at the end of the day, cannabis is just a plant, but the story around it, that's been written and rewritten by people with power, influence, and something to gain. And depending on who's telling that story, the meaning of cannabis can look completely different.
Mm, mm, mm,
Thanks, Reginald.
Oh, Reginald.
Always a good write.
Always a good write. Always a good write. And he's spot on with that. I mean, it's just like dangling the carrot. I mean, come on, how many years have we been hearing?
And then they just go like overnight and pass psilocybin.
Yeah, right. And we've been dealing with this for a very long time, but you've heard Mr. Weedman say this on the show so many times: the underground will always win. We will always win. We don't need them. We don't effing need the government.
Yeah, but we don't need the government, but I think the legal market has a very big place in the normalization and
breaking the stigma, stopping the stigma. Yeah, I get it.
And for those consumers that don't want to do something illegal, they want cannabis, but they don't want to have to break a law to do it.
Oh, I get it. Trust me, 100%. But it's just like,
but we should be able to just grow.
We've been doing this show for 7 years. We've been fighting for cannabis legalization. That's why we started 8 decades, because 8 decades of prohibition. Cannabis has been in prohibition. We don't want there to be a 9th. We have 1 more year.
Yeah.
2027. That's it. Then we're going into the 9th year of cannabis prohibition. It's enough.
9th decade.
Yeah.
We're going to be super baked again.
Oh my God, I hit that thing again. Great time.
We're smoking again.
So it's so good though.
Yep.
International news. Argentina is expanding cannabis access for patients through programs like prescriptions and home grow. but full commercial market still hasn't taken shape. Sorry, I needed a drink. The country is prioritizing access first, business second, creating a unique model where people can legally use cannabis, but industry growth is still catching up. Greece is proposing stricter cannabis regulations, including banning low THC flower sales while allowing products like CBD foods and cosmetics. That makes no sense, Greece. The plan also creates licensed retail stores with strict oversight and heavy penalties for violations. At the same time, the country is easing rules for medical cannabis production aimed at exports. Tighter rules, selective freedoms. British Columbia's top health officer expressed disappointment after Canada's rolled back parts of its drug decriminalization policy. The reversal raises concerns about how effective harm reduction strategies will be moving forward, especially as overdose crises continue. It highlights the ongoing struggle to balance public health and drug policy in real time. Harm reduction hits resistance. Thailand is shutting the door on recreational cannabis, moving toward a strictly medical-only system. New rules limits access to patients with prescriptions, reversing one of Asia's most open cannabis markets. The shift puts pressure on businesses that grew during legalization and shows how quickly cannabis policy can change. They should just let people get, like, if they're coming in town for vacation, they should get, like, a week's medical card,
Yeah.
or if you have a medical card from another country, they should reciprocate. So at least you don't lose that business. Come on, that's fucking stupid. Ireland is moving forward with formal reviews of its medical cannabis program, aiming to expand access and improve how patients receive treatment. Officials are looking at eligibility, prescribing rules, and integration into the healthcare system. The review could lead to a broader access and more structured program. Ireland is following the rainbow. A resurfaced video shows a young reporter accidentally inhaling cannabis smoke live on air, creating an awkward and hilarious moment. The clip has gone viral again, highlighting how cannabis culture continues to collide with mainstream media in unexpected ways. Sometimes the news becomes a story. The accidental hotbox on live TV. Welsh Liberal Democrats are pushing the motion to better protect medical cannabis patients, including improved access and clearer rights. Advocates say current systems still leave patients struggling with prescriptions and legal clarity. The proposal reflects growing pressure across the UK to strengthen medical cannabis frameworks. Access shouldn't be a struggle. Jamaica's Cannabis Licensing Authority has launched new medical cannabis special permit programs aimed at briefing more traditional ganja growers into the legal industry. The initiative expands access while strengthening regulations, focusing on inclusion, job creation, and economic growth. It's a move to balance cultural roots with modern regulated cannabis markets, from legacy to legal. Let's go, Jamaica. There's 4 songs that Mr. Weedman is going to tell you about. They say are the big 4 weed songs. Now, this is more rock geared to rock songs. There's no hip hop on these 4 songs because I have a list that I can tell you of all my favorites. Between hip hop, country, rock and roll, jazz. I mean, Fats Waller, come on, Vipers. I mean, I play it every year for you all. So, but these 4 songs are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That I have to go back and listen to one because I haven't heard this one. One of them you're going to mention, I'll get to it, in a very, very long time. No, I don't want another hit of that right now.
I want to see just how baked I can get.
I'm good for a minute. So, because that last one I hit it really, really good. I was like, oh boy. So I'm glad you're finishing the show. So tell us about it. What are the big 4 of weed songs?
All right. To wrap things up, we're going to take it back to music because let's be real. Cannabis and music have been best friends for a long time. This one comes from the ultimate classic rock, and they asked a bold question. What are the big 4 weed songs of all time? Not an easy list to make because there are a lot of contenders, but they narrowed it down based on impact, creativity, and straight-up cultural legacy. So let's break it down, the 4 they picked. First up, The Joker by the Steve Miller Band. You already know the line. I'm a joker. I'm a smoker. I'm a midnight toker. Right? This one basically defined the laid-back stoner anthem. Fun fact, the song actually came together at a party with Steve Miller just sitting on a car hood under the stars making it up as he went along. Wild that it went on to hit number 1 and never left the rotation.
They played that song at my dad's funeral. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was. Next, we have Sweet Leaf by Black Sabbath.
This is the one that I haven't heard in a very long time, so I'm going to have to listen to it after the show. It's been a very long time since I heard this song, so I'm excited to hearing it.
This one comes in heavy Literally. The song famously starts with a coughing sound, and yes, that was intentional. But beyond that, the track is important. It's not just a weed song, it helped shape what became stoner rock and even parts of metal. Ozzy straight up delivers a love letter to cannabis in this one. Then you've got Rainy Day Woman number 12 and 35 by Bob Dylan. Now, Dylan has always played it cool, saying it's not really about weed, it's about being stoned in a biblical sense, like being judged or punished. But come on, when you've got a chorus chanting, everybody must get stoned, people are going to interpret that how they want, right? And honestly, that's part of what makes it great. It lives in both worlds, protest song and unofficial smoke session anthem. And finally, there's Mary Jane's Last Dance by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Great song.
Petty himself never fully confirmed it was about cannabis, but he also didn't exactly shut it down either. The lyrics leave it open. Could be about a woman, could be about weed, could be about both. But fans, they ran with it, and it ended up becoming one of his most streamed songs ever. So that's their big four. And honestly, it makes sense because each one hits a different lane. You've got a chill anthem, one with a heavy riff, a thought-provoking track, and a storytelling classic. Together, they kind of show how cannabis has influenced music in totally different ways. And it goes way beyond just these four songs. Rock music and cannabis have been intertwined for decades, sometimes celebrated, sometimes criticized, but always present. From creativity to rebellion to just straight up relaxation, the plant has been part of the soundtrack. So whether you're lighting one up or just vibing to the music, these tracks are part of that legacy. And if nothing else, they're a solid playlist for your next smoke session.
Yes.
Yes.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'd like to thank Broken Lollipop for sponsoring the
show. My headache is gone. My brain is gone.
While you were talking, boy, I also was like, oh,
ooh,
man, this is going to be a good sleep tonight. Because I rolled another one. I got another joint for tonight for bed by for nighty night. Eat your peanut butter cup that you made, edible that you made for us, and smoke that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, I might not wake up tomorrow.
Night.
Yeah.
See you when the alarm goes off.
Yep. Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
You have anything else to say?
No, I'm just really baked. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I love it. Hey, everyone out there in the world. Thank you for 7 years. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking with us. We love you out there. It's been a great journey, and we appreciate y'all. We need some peace. We need some love. Go out there and get to living before you get to dying. Remember your dream before you want the dream to heaven to go, or wherever you're going to end up, somewhere peaceful. That's what you want that dream to be. So, as Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff, puff, and away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.